Hey guys, welcome back. It's your brother in Christ, Weston. Thanks for joining me today. So today's article comes out of End Times Headlines. Let's get into it. Hey guys, third video in a row about some AI stuff. It's just wild and we need to talk about it. It says here, oh man, AI companies are enabling humans to make contact with the dead. And I'm just trying to figure out how that makes any sense. How do you communicate with a dead person, a dead spirit, a dead soul? This is supernatural that we're talking about at this point, right? I have not read the article, and I'm sure it'll be some form of I don't know. You try to take that person's voice because AI can literally trace your voice and then copy over it and then use it, and you can start speaking into it like a voiceover, dubbed over, anything like that, like a deep fake. Take pictures, scrape images, and then you can start speaking to said thing, to said person that's dead, and they can communicate with you. I think this is satanic like no other. This is like when Saul asked the witch to bring up Samuel's spirit, and Samuel said, "What have you done?" And he was trying to counsel with Samuel, and he said, Samuel told him, "Why didn't you wait on the Lord?" Or wait on I forgot who it was, either wait on the Lord or wait on a particular prophet, and he decided not to. But Saul had also put out a decree that if anybody were to practice these kind of occultic practices, that they were to be put to death. And so then this witch was like, "You have to promise me that you won't tell anybody about this." And then she realizes it's King Saul, the one who put this out, and he guarantees that she'll be safe. So, anyways, it says here. It's an opinion piece. An upcoming service called Seance A.I. That's a hard stop. Seance A.I. Nothing good comes from seances. Okay, just gonna say it right now. It's being built by a software development lab called AE Studio, where its creator, a designer named Jaren Rocks, isn't shy about the straightforwardness of the product's name or its intent. While other companies often talk about an implication of resurrecting the dead, Rocks leans full tilt into the ghoulishness, and according to him, it's very intentional. We're trying to make it sound as magical and mystical as possible. Rocks told Futurism, saying the name is called to attention over how advanced large language models, or LLM, which is like ChatGPT, these things that are coming out, tech has gotten. So LLMs are, after all are convincing simulacra. People are forming deep parasocial bonds with them. At least one person is alleged to have died as a result of their interactions with an AI chatbot. Interesting. I had no idea. How does that happen? What? If a user is looking for a final conversation with someone they've lost, maybe it is better to give them a product that blatantly claims to allow them a brief conversation with the deceased, rather than imply that the soul of a dead friend or a parent is trapped in ChatGPT. Seance AI is powered by OpenAI's API. According to Futurism, Rocks also emphasizes the seance's brevity. Often after a loss, whatever last words or moments you had with someone, good or bad, are seared in your memory, and in many cases are an accident says. There's often no goodbye at all. Rocks likens his product to an AI-generated Ouija board for closure rather than a means of immortality. I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to build better memories with somebody who lost said person on bad terms, or they didn't get to say goodbye, or their last conversation they had a fight, or it was a marriage and the husband or the wife didn't make it back, and they should have said "I love you," or all these moments that are literally, you cannot recreate them. You can't. That is what happens at the end of that. And that's what we remember. And those are on purpose. You cannot recreate those situations. I would like to think that if my wife and my son or whatever walked out, like they are on a drive right now with my sister-in-law celebrating her birthday, that when they left, I said "I love you" and I prayed over them or whatnot, and then something were to happen and they don't come back home. So then my last moment is, well, I could have done this. I should have said this, right? And so that's on purpose. Like, yeah, I should have done it, but it didn't happen that way. But to try and bring that moment back up is almost to play like, let's travel back in time. Let's use these, I would say, black magic, satanic practices to try to try and bring them back up just so I can, the living talking to the dead. This is the same thing with the rich man, poor man, where the poor man, the rich man says, tell, I forgot who he's talking to, telling somebody, whoever he's talking to, tell my living brothers that this place is real. It's really hot. Don't do this. And then I forgot who it is that says it. And he says, let the living talk to the living, and let the dead talk to the dead. If they're not going to listen to the living prophets, the ones who are there now, what makes you think they're going to listen to you if you're dead? And so it's this weird, like, abomination in some sense of, like, you are trying to play God by bringing up a soul, and it confirms it. Like, you're presupposing that souls and spirits are real. You're presupposing these things, and this person is not talking about immortality or anything like that, but a Ouija board. So there's a sense of a Ouija board-esque belief here, right? That means you're calling up something from the dead. You're performing a seance. These things are spiritual and mystical in practice. And it just said like that, magical, right? Black magic. All this stuff has a satanic origin to it, a demonic origin to it, a black magic, witchcraft, Satanism. Insert something pagan here. Let's keep moving. It essentially meant to be a short interaction that can provide a sense of closure, right? And I understand. You're trying to create a better memory than what was left. And to a surface level degree, I would love that to be a thing, but I don't even think that to a surface level degree of it being a good thing, it could ever be a good thing. Meaning that there's no way, and I would never want to do that. I would never want to do that. That's really where the main focus is here, says Rox. It's not meant to be something super long-term. In its current state, it's meant to provide a conversation with closure and emotional processing. Another example of this was the account of James Vallos, who lost his father to cancer in 2017 and recorded several instances of his father's stories while he was alive, managed to channel these into a chatbot, which eventually proved to be a catalyst for his product, Hereafter AI. According to AI BC, not only does this program allow someone to communicate with a phenomenally lifelike replica of a loved one, but enables them to live on a sort of speak in a life story avatar. Weird, like they can keep them alive kind of sense, and there's some form of a chatbot, and you will blur the lines. Remember, we talked about this in my last video where it's talking about financial warfare, relationships, sexual relationships. I mean, what are you're gonna have sexting, you're gonna have all this stuff that's happening, and you're gonna get aroused. The metaverse, having sex with AI in some way, form, or fashion of a digital romance. This stuff is wild, and this is real. This is very real. With very recent leaps and bounds of being achieved in the field of AI of late, revisiting the possibility seemed like an extremely exciting avenue to pursue. Coinciding with the Queen Ming Festival, funeral companies are taking the abilities of some seminal influential AI technologies such as ChatGPT and AI generator Midjourney to not only re-synthesize a deceased loved one, but create new experiences from replication. So now you get to enjoy moments that are not real. They're not, because it's not the real person. You are interacting with a robot. And remember, we talk about this. I've said that I believe that demons can inhabit any kind of AI. If demons can inhabit flesh, they can inhabit animals, then they can inhabit things that function and move. And all of these abilities of things that we're creating, these lifelike statues or idols or telephones or pictures or movies or phones, video game systems, it doesn't matter. There is some form of, I just believe that it can take over. We have seen it before. Stuff, you watch ghost shows or somebody who posted something on social media. We got UFOs, we got motherships flying around at this point, right? And so, like, this is not far-fetched, and it never was. It just had to become culturally normative for it to actually sink in and go, okay, maybe it's real, right? That's where our society's at today. And to normalize these things, so then everybody's like, okay, you're not as crazy as you sound, because we're a groupthink mentality, which is so terrible and destructive. In many ways, generating a profoundly immersive experience, these incredibly powerful technologies can mimic the deceased personality, appearance, voice, and draw on memories so that the individuals can experience their loved ones well after they have departed. A fitting technology could be showcased by the Queen Ming Festival, which is also known as Tomb Sweeping Day, which falls on the 5th of April this year, observed by ethnic Chinese across the world who pay their respects to their ancestors' loved ones by cleaning their tombs and placing offerings. The first funeral company to conduct a funeral using AI technology was Shanghai Fushoyun in January 2022, a company that typically offered digital funeral services, which the advancement seemingly like a logical step forward. Bloggers on a Chinese video sharing website, Billy, have shared their experience with AI to speak to their loved ones who have died. One blogger, Wu Liu, uploaded a video to the platform in March called Generating My Grandma's virtual digital human using AI tools that detailed how she used ChatGPT, AI painting, and speech synthesis to create a moving avatar of her late grandmother. That's wild. That's too much. He discussed growing up in a single parent family and being raised by his father and grandmother, as well as his regrets about not being able to see her one last time before she died. Thanks to technology, he was able to. The video I made was mainly to ease my regrets through the use of AI technology and to help me think not so much of the past, he said in the blog post as reported in the Straits Times. Once again, we have to ask ourselves what could possibly go wrong with embarking on something of this nature, crossing the ethical bounds of even life and death. Exactly. I mentioned that's the whole article. That's what I mentioned earlier. One can easily see how this technology is going to evolve into something far more sinister and will not be able to be contained. And it's not going to. It's not going to because you're going to be able to you play on people's emotions. When you play on people's emotions, by any means of the stretch, whether it's life or death, it's food, it's hunger, it's pain, it's love, it's contentment, it's joy, it's happiness, it's anger, selfishness. If you're able to work in the emotional realm and to bring services to that, to make people better or to get feelings out and not have to deal with them, or to be able to deal with them in a healthy way. Like it's just therapy, literally, but it's ways of using that. But you're crossing bounds where you're bringing people back up. Like this is wild. This is absolutely wild. Yeah, man. I don't know. So right now I am taking a class on ChatGPT, Midjourney, and Dolly. It's 11 hours, and I think I'm like 2.5 hours into it, and I'm learning so much. And I can just what I've learned today as I was running on my treadmill. It is wild the things that you can do and how disruptive ChatGPT will be, or OpenAI in general, with these other technologies that are going to do this, to be able to perform services and to make the person who needed friends, who doesn't have friends because they have them through OpenAI, and they can be groomed and primed to be this outcome of said thing, to be whatever you desire, and it can do it intelligently as if it's its own being, right? I talk about this, man, all the time. I work in the cybersecurity space, so I know about this. And I'm looking to get certified in this, and by God's grace, I will, because I need to know. And I'm going to use this ability to be able to know how these things work, to hopefully bring people to Christ and to show you how these things are phenomenal and life-changing, market reckoning, job disrupting, and life or death. Like literally, like this. I don't know. I don't have words for it. This is acting as God. And all day today, as I was running and watching this course, I just kept thinking of like all the ways you can talk to ChatGPT, and how you can function out your comments, and the way we say stuff in language. It's all about language. It's all about having a conversation with AI and the way you would say it and the way we'd want to detail it. And it can respond in said way and ask you questions back to then get you to help to say what you don't know how to say. That's wild. And all I kept thinking is God, 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 God. I just kept hearing God, God. It's a God. It's becoming a God. Man is making a God because man can't be God. So they make a God in their own image that will do what they want it to do. Biblical. It's biblical all over. That's all I can think of is Bible, 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 Bible. And it's not a real God. It's a false God. Funny enough, I've been reading Isaiah and just talking about there's no God beside me. I know of none. There's none before me and none after me. I am the Lord, and there is no other God. And talks about deaf and dumb idols. Man creates an idol. He heats it up. He moves it along. He heats up his meat with it, and then he sets it down and worships it. It means that even the idol has to be moved by man, meaning that man is more of a God than the idol is. It's just wild. So anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you all think about Seance AI, and I'll see you in the next one.